message of the day, Genesis chapter 41, verse 8. So in the morning, his spirit was troubled, and he sent and called for all the magicians of Egypt and all its wise men. Pharaoh told them his dreams, but there was none who could interpret them to Pharaoh. So y'all see, right? Pharaoh calls in all the magicians, right? All of the wise men, right? The best brains in Egypt. And guess what that got them? Nothing. Right? When human wisdom hits a wall, that's usually when God steps in. Right? Then after 2 full years, 730 days, 17,520 hours, the cupbearer finally remembers Joseph. Right? In verses 9 to 13, it says, Then the chief cupbearer said to Pharaoh, I remember my offenses today. When Pharaoh was angry with his servants and put me and the chief baker in custody in the house of the captain of the guard, we dreamed on the same night, he and I, each having a dream with its own interpretation. Right? A young Hebrew was there with us, a servant of the captain of the guard. And when we told him, he interpreted our dreams to us, giving an interpretation to each man according to his dream. And as he interpreted it to us, so it came about. I was restored to my office, and the baker, he was hung. Right? So let that set for a second. Right? Y'all see, God didn't forget Joseph. Right? God let him wait. Some of the biggest moments of our lives shows up late. Right? Quiet. When we've already stopped expecting them, that's when God moves. Right? You see, Joseph gets yanked out of a dungeon, right, and thrown straight in front of Pharaoh. Right? It says in Genesis 41, verse 14, Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they quickly brought him out of the pit. And when he had shaved himself and changed his clothes, he came in before Pharaoh. Right? So no warning. Right? No warm-up. He didn't know what he was going to say. Right? Did he have time to get ready? No. But was he ready anyways? Yes. Because he's already been walking with God. Right? So you don't get ready when the door opens. You get ready when nobody's watching. Right? Staying close to God is what makes you ready for anything. Right? So when Pharaoh tells Joseph the dreams, Joseph makes up something clear. He makes something clear right away. Right? The ability to interpret, it isn't in him. It is in God. Right? Verses 15 and 16 says, And Pharaoh said to Joseph, I had a dream, and there was no one who can interpret it. I have heard of it said of you that when you hear a dream, you can interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, It is not in me. God will give Pharaoh a favorable answer. Right? You see, it wasn't Joseph's knowledge of dreams that mattered. Right? It was his relationship with God. Right? And he gave God the credit right away. So taking honor for yourself is stealing God's glory. So don't be silent when God deserves it. Right? Then next we move on. Joseph moves from revelation to responsibility. Right? He gives Pharaoh a survival plan for the next 14 years. 7 years of abundance, followed by 7 years of famine. Verses 28 to 36 says, Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dreams are one. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty years belittled by the east wind are also 7 years of famine. Right? It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he is about to do. Now therefore, let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh proceed to appoint overseers over the land and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of these good years that are coming and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh for food in the cities. And let them keep it, that food shall be a reserve for the land against the 7 years of famine that are to occur in the land of Egypt, so that the land may not perish through the famine. Right? So y'all see, faith doesn't cancel planning. Right? Planning is obedience. Joseph saved the whole nation by turning God's revelation into a practical action. Right? Then Pharaoh sees God's spirit in Joseph. Verses 38 and 39 says, And Pharaoh said to his servants, Can we find a man like this, in whom is the Spirit of God? Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, Since God has shown you all this, there is none so discerning and wise as you. Right? So you may never interpret dreams for a king. right? But the people around you, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers, the person you see at the gas station should see God's Spirit in your words, in your wisdom, and in your actions, right? Joseph rise from the prison to palace wasn't luck. You see, every season, slave, prisoner, it was training. Verses 40 and 41 says, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, see that I have set you over all the land of Egypt. So no matter how undesirable your current situation is, right, it could be a part of God's training program for what he has been planning for you, right, planning for you to do. Joseph was 30 when he entered Pharaoh's servants, right? Verses 46 says, Joseph was 30 years old when he entered the service of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went through all the land of Egypt, right? He was 30 then. He's been sold into slavery at 17 years old, right? He spent 13 years waiting and serving and trusting God, right? God never rushed Joseph, and God never forgot him, right? Stay close to God, give God the credit, right? Be faithful where you are, and when God calls your name, you better be ready to pick up that phone. You better be ready to move, right? Don't get distracted by the season that you are in. It is a training program that God has stored for you.